So I asked what were some unpopular or unorthodox maps that you guys really liked or had at your number one. Because I think it's interesting to see all the different opinions that exist in the zombies community, because not everyone thinks the same. Here's some of the highlighted comments that I saw. The first one is from Master Eth. Die Rise was a personal favorite of me and my friends. The elevator and bank system were peak, and the silly Queefer was one of the most unique wonder weapons. Die Rise is an interesting map as of all the different ways you can play the map. Personally, I think that the map is very, very underrated. I would never put it as my number one or in my top 5 or anything, but I think most people can agree that the Siliquifier is one of, if not the best wonder weapon to get you to round 100. The one thing that can be said about Die Rise above all the other maps that exist is that there's no map that plays like it. There's nothing that plays like Die Rise. It truly is a unique experience you can't get anywhere else. And for it to just really click with somebody and have it be their number one or their favorite map, I think is very interesting. The next comment is from Archie Demon. Moon. Everything about it is pure innovation. It introduced a lot of exclusive features that really make the map extremely unique to all other BO1 maps preceding it. The hacker having multiple uses from refunding perks to respinning the box was ahead of its time. The QED is one of the most unique equipments introduced, and there hasn't been anything like it before, and I find it pretty cool having an object that can bless you or curse you, and sometimes you can use the curses to your advantage. Not to mention, it's the only way of obtaining more than 4 perks in solo. I like the excavator system as it promotes you actually moving around the map instead of confining yourself to training in the biodome forever. And generally, it's just so cool killing zombies in space of all places, and just floating everywhere is so chaotic. I love it. Moon is absolutely a map that brought a lot new to the table. Many of the things later on would become quality of life improvements to later games, like sharing perks, points, or even removing perks without going down. The hacker really did so much for this map, I don't think many realize this. Along with the balancing of not being able to hold the hacker and the spacesuit at the same time, I think was a wise move. I think that with as much as Moon did to bring zombies to new heights, I think it also has as many things about it that many would consider annoying. Moon is a love it or hate it kind of map, and I fall into the love category. The next is from Real Landlord 2824. Blood of the Dead. I think that it serves as a faithful reiteration and also expands on the original. I think it also served as a great challenge for experienced zombie players. The Easter egg was also pretty decent. The story was also one of the best parts of the whole map. I think it became a map that players that enjoyed quests and exploring the map would enjoy. One of my favorite underrated maps in the franchise. Blood of the Dead is one of those maps that I have changed my thoughts and opinions on so much from where it was a year or 2 ago. Blood used to be a map that I would literally put in my bottom 5 because I just never put the time in to examine all the content and all the features that the map had to offer. But once I did that, I realized that the core gameplay loop and all the side quests and all the things you can do on the map, it's actually a lot of fun. Just playing Blood of the Dead casually is a really good time, and I think that especially when you again learn all the things you can do on this map, because personally I don't care for the Easter egg. I've done it once. I have no desire to do the Easter egg again. I think the Easter egg is not very good, but I think that all of the additional content, the side quests, just the core gameplay loop and just killing zombies with the magma gat, the acid gat, I think all that stuff is really great, and in some ways I almost have more fun doing that and playing the map casually than Mob. But then again, on the flip side to that, I think that Mob had better map flow. Blood of the Dead is a little bit too big. So again, Blood is a bit of a mixed bag, but I think that deriding it as one of the worst maps ever made is complete over-exaggeration. Blood is nowhere near that level. Here's one from Constant Innov Maxim 1249. Although not number one, D Machine is the map I've invested the most game time. I'm not even joking, I got to around 100 plus, 50 plus times. This map introduced unbelievable mechanics, mantling, speed, salvage system, PAP and tool system, armor system, perk system, exfil, etc. that brought the community together at launch. going to round 100 with a 4-man squad was actually possible in a realistic time, with any weapon being viable for high rounds. This map reintroduced the ray gun to make it feel like the ray gun with its power and aura, just like how it was during World at War and BO1. However, shame on BO2 through 4 for dunking on it. The Dark Ether vibes were immaculate. This was a great launch map, and whenever I go back to Cold War, it will be D Machine. The one thing that you cannot deny is that Cold War Zombies was very, very accessible because of the mechanical changes that was made to it. But I think that it's very telling, the fact that a 4-man squad with any weapon can just get to round 100. I don't think that that's how the game should be, because again, everything that Cold War did just points to the fact that the game is too easy. And for me, that leads to it getting boring. But there are plenty of people, this is a perfect example, who just like to just get on, play casually, have all these, simple mechanics, have everything be overpowered, and it is what it is. It's not my cup of tea, but to deny that Cold War was popular when it came out, I think that the general community sense is starting to flip the other way, which certainly I agree with. Again, if there are those who just love it and get everything out of it, personally, more power to you. I'm glad that you like it. This one's from Jordan Rivet 8405. My favorite map is Tag, and I was so happy to see your video on it. Finally, someone sees BO4's Diamond in the Rough. This guy gets it. This one is from Callister BW. I'm a COD veteran, and my number one map is Mauer der Toten. Why? It's because it was able to bring back a feasible historical context to the mode with the Berlin Wall. The Cold War mechanics work so well with this map, especially if you use the Wonder Weapon, which is a fun puzzle to get and it's full of personality. The enemy variety is great and has lots of style on their design. The multiple bosses don't ruin the flow of high rounds. They make it better and super chaotic. The Easter egg is amazing and has so much sci-fi and dark fantasy elements to it. There's a lot of mystery and very unique and dangerous stakes during the quest. And being able to do the steps fully solo on public lobbies gave me a sense of endless replayability, especially because Valentina boss fight is the best we've ever had in COD Zombies. It's so underrated, I love it. It's one of the few maps that actually feels like a sequel to the World at War and BO1 design, and I will always cherish it. I think most would say that of all the maps in Cold War, that Mauer der Toten is the most visually and thematically interesting map. For me, in Cold War, I don't get much out of any of the Easter eggs, so I don't much care for them in any way. But I do remember the Valentina boss fight was at least more dynamic than some of the others. Like, it's certainly better than the Forsaken or the Orda boss fight on Firebase Z, so I will concede that. Mauer probably also does the best with the location it's given and does it in dynamic kind of ways, moving around the map and whatnot. And while mechanically I don't really see anything too unique about it, I think that thematically, layout wise, and visually, Mauer is the best map in Cold War in that respect. Here's one from unknown person WS6PM. I feel like 5 really gets shoved under the radar a lot by the community. I think it's one of the most iconic maps in all of Zombies with some of the best gameplay. I absolutely love the Winter's Howl. Most people hate it, but to me it feels like the perfect example of what a wonder weapon should be. Useful and overpowered, but not insanely overpowered like the Thunder Gun. It takes skill in order to make it useful. The characters are so iconic as well, and such a staple in my memories of the game. The overall map layout itself is very fun too, and I enjoy the challenge of navigating around the tight corridors while having hordes of zombies sprinting at me. Such a great map, truly amazing, and underrated. 5 is a map that I think gets a kind of a negative rap nowadays from a lot of people in the community because of its difficulty and its layout. And while the original Winter's Howl I don't think is a great wonder weapon, it's more of a utility tool than anything. 5 plays actually really well, especially when you want to train in the war room or camp in the upstairs area. There's also some really good significant innovations in this map, like the Death Machine power-up and buildable traps. It's unfortunate that 5 gets kind of overlooked because of how popular Mauer der Toten is, but to say that 5 is a bad map or not to be put on the same level as the others in BO1, I think is a little bit of an unfair statement. While I personally feel that Classified improved on the map's layout and Wonder Weapon, to say that 5 is a bad map is just not true at all. This one's from Geo-PB5RM. I adore TranZit. I know it's a garbage dumpster fire, but damn it, the map is trying its best. TranZit has just as much heart as all of the best zombie maps. When you get in the right lobby with the people who know the map and can just chill in TranZit, those are special times. TranZit is... it is the quintessential so bad it's good map. Like, it's not good. We all know it's not good, but for not just nostalgic reasons, but just for like the amount of chaos that exists on this map, there's just an aura of entertainment that you just don't get from many others. Because there are plenty of bad maps with like annoying mechanics, but none of them have the charm that TranZit does. Running around this giant hellscape is really unique when you got 4 people. And I mean, even me, I love playing the map solo. I mean, I got to round 100 on it. I mean, who does that unless they truly love TranZit? Oh boy, here's an interesting one from Zandolf64. Carrier from AW was very enjoyable. 2 new weapons, amazing wonder weapon, new perk that helps with the ammo problem, 2 new power-ups, and a dual spawn room that was rarely used across all of zombies. The bomb mechanic can be manipulated. You don't have to go after all the bombs right away. You can let 2 go off and go after the 3rd bomb. It's better when they spawn in rooms that you don't travel to often. The Easter egg actively uses the exosuit well in the laser step, so the advanced movement is actually utilized. Well, I did not expect very many people to defend Advanced Warfare exo-zombie maps, but here we are. I will concede this, that when you go from Infection to Carrier, there is such a significant leap in terms of quality, but even still, like the core mechanics of exo zombies, terrible. The EMZs, awful. But there are little things about Carrier that are a good thing. I think that the little pachinko machine that you can use with your grenades to get free points is a good thing. I think the added, special teleporting grenades and obviously the new perk, new things are good. I just wish that the core gameplay loop was actually better. Interesting little story here. When Carrier came out back in 2015, I was so utterly, just absolutely disgusted and disappointed with exo zombies that I just said screw it. I got out my 360 because Black Ops 2 was not backwards compatible back then, popped in Black Ops 2, just started playing that, and I actually hopped on TranZit that very week, and that's where I met Henry. So if it wasn't for Carrier being a terrible map, in my opinion, I would have never met my best friend. This one is from Jinx_Birdie. I'm a BO4 lover, and it's very apparent in one of, if not my favorite map. This map being none other than the infamous Voyage of Despair. Taking place on the Titanic is a 10 out of 10. The obtainable wonder weapon as the Kraken is awesome. A triple barrel cannon that can be upgraded via the elemental catalyst zombies on the map. It has variety as you can switch up the gameplay using a different one whenever you like. It also has infinite ammo basically, as you can just refill your ammo or change it for 6k and an easy to obtain part. The Easter egg is a good one as it's not too long and there are some great steps like the planets and icebergs. Overall, there's only about 5 steps to do, finishing off with a top tier boss fight with the Eye. There's lots of little side quests to do, some being the fish free perk, the shield upgrade with the amazing flying car, free Kraken chest, and more than that. There was so much soul and passion put into the map from the devs, and it's a shame it goes unrecognized. I know it's not objectively a great map with the likes of DE, Origins, Mob of the Dead, or Shadows of Evil, as most people say, but it's special to me. Yeah. Yes, but 100% agree. It's like I wrote this comment myself or something. Moving on, this comment comes from Vesper EM. The Darkest Shore has one of the most immaculate vibes. The Mutular still, after like 7 years and knowing all the strats to kill them, scare the shit out of me. Beautiful map design as well, and one of the coolest spawn rooms in general. To this day, I do not understand why people dog on World War II, and especially this map. The one criticism that I always see levied against it is like, oh, the fog, oh, the map is too small. You know, if you go in the inside areas, you can avoid the fog when it rolls in, and it only comes in every few rounds when the Mushler spawn. I mean, you have one of the coolest and best wonder weapons out there in the Ripsaw. It doesn't even take up a weapon slot, it's a melee weapon. The Easter egg is also awesome, by the way. I've done it many, many, many times. Just the aesthetic of this map, it is visually stunning. Like, it actually might be the best looking map in World War II. I think to those who just completely write it off because it has a very small layout, they're just really not seeing the value in a map doing something different with having this kind of compact, like long, sprawling up the hill type of design. I've literally heard people say it's one of the worst maps, if not the worst map ever, and I can't wrap my mind around that. Like, are we playing the same map here? Because even with a map this long and this compact, it still has a fast travel system that's also used in cooperation with the Easter egg. So I think for anyone who has not given this map a fair shake, please do so. This one's from B1P Films, Alpha Omega. I honestly liked the design of the map and how it functions. The Easter egg song was amazing. I just want to say this. I saw so many comments saying Alpha Omega. Like, when are we going to just all admit that Alpha Omega is a decent map? Like, again, it's not a good map. It is a good guilty pleasure map because, again, so many people said Alpha Omega is like their sleeper favorite or a map that they really enjoy, but they know it's not good. Like, this is beyond like TranZit where it's so bad it's good. Alpha Omega is like that super unique map that like has so many things about it that are great, but also irritating at the same time. Alpha Omega is not a bad map, clearly, with how many people actually enjoy it. This comment is from Sir Nathaniel. I don't care about anybody's opinion, I love Firebase Z. It's a really basic map, I'm aware, but it was the map that made me start getting into zombies, and I still play it from time to time. Again, like I said earlier, it can't be denied that Cold War's accessibility and just the fact that all the DLC maps were free, it did incentivize a lot of new people to get into zombies. I think Firebase Z's layout and gameplay mechanics with like the defense rounds, it actually kind of makes the map a lot more replayable than some of the other Cold War maps. So while the core gameplay mechanics aren't too special, at least the map gets you out of just camping in the same spot every few rounds. Krazim SB2 says, I'm gonna sound crazy, but Shino Numa, Vanguard. Well, if you're crazy, then I belong in a mental institution. And the last comment for this video is from Matt Walters 6834. I really like Dead of the Night, very homey feel, and I love the characters, particularly the Brigadier and Gypsy. Also, Verrucht. I think people don't like it because it's close quarters and spooky. I like it for that very reason. I think it might be a coincidence that both of these maps have the same split spawn room mechanic, but yeah, no. Dead of the Night in isolation, if you just like completely ignore the fact that it's like a part of Chaos and just take it as like a standalone kind of story of just 4 colorful characters killing zombies, vampires, werewolves, and dealing with ghosts and stuff in a haunted mansion, it really is aesthetically one of the most entertaining maps you can have. I really have come around to the characters on Dead of the Night. They really are very entertaining, and as what it seems to be the very last time we'll ever see a celebrity cast, I think they did a fantastic job with who they got.